Hi, my name's David and this is Revelation, my small 27-foot wooden home. We left England and its cold grey seas to circumnavigate the world single-handed, an experience sailing that was exhilarating, fast, slow, rolly, with dolphins, with others, with sailing and mesmerising sunsets. To find anchorages that were sunny, picturesque, quiet, blustery and simply sensational. So join me in Revelation as we attempt to sail around the world. So I thought it time to put my reefing lines on, put a new patch for my second reef line and 2 eyelets, because the strain on the leech at 30-40 knots is quite considerable. And my favourite little bowline, really simple, through the back pulley, and that leads along the bow to a jamming cleat at the foot of the mast, which is where I can downhaul, reef the luff and reef the leech. That's the pulley that the reef line for the luff goes through, and again I've reinforced that. The tension on the luff's not as great as the leech. So again, just a simple bowline with my nice washed clean saltless reefing lines, 12mm, and bowline just goes through there, and this downhaul reefing line just goes through the pulley at the bottom too. So when you're reefing, you lower the sail, pull down the luff reefing line, lock it off around the cleat, and then pull the leech reefing line, lock it off around the cleat. Simple as that. Never takes me more than 30 seconds. And then I thought it was time to clean these reefing line cleats, and also the tabernacle. You might have noticed if under the bottom bolt, the whole mast can be pulleyed down, pivoting on this top bolt, which is pretty cool when you want to do it yourself. So scraping away at the metal tabernacle, scraped some of the varnish off these really nice teak cleats, which just needed a sanding and a varnishing. So until they completely fall apart and I need to new buy ones, then a little sand and some teak oil and they'll be fine. Shape the edges round so they don't crack off, but I think they'll clean up quite nicely. And now that's sanded, I can give that a paint tomorrow. And that's what I did, and this is what scraped, sanded and painted tabernacle, a new cleats, varnished, teak oiled and put back on. Nothing like refurbishing quality product with my nice new cleat line. And that's the same for the number 1 reef from the leech all the way along the boom to the cleats at the bottom of the mast, and that's my 2 reefing lines. All pretty simple. And as the clouds were covered by this big grey rain cloud, I thought time to call it a day. So the next day, 2 clouds around, but I still wanted to get out my 2-year-old North Sail jib. It still crackles, makes a great sound. Nothing like a great crackly sail. Haven't had this rolled up without creasing it all winter, so it's still a really good sail. Sets so well. And the jib lines on it, and now all clean, washed, saltless. That's Kathy from Aurora, who may well be part of the flotilla. I wasn't ignoring, I just didn't see it, honestly. A nice, clean, dry jib seat. The salt on all my ropes when I finally sailed from England to Torrevecchia, they were almost stiff, so after 6 months in the starboard quarter berth, it was great to hank it on, checking as you go for any little rips, tears, holes, but she was fine, nothing wrong at all. Pattern's all still good. It's pretty nice when you put up an almost new crackly sail. Almost goes back to the dinghy racing days. And that's what she looks like, all up. I washed her, just drying out. Ready for our first sail of the season. Now this is my other sail. It's a high cut Yankee, very heavy storm sail. Has its own jib sheets, so there's no changing over. So that gets hanked on too and left either in a bag or just a couple of bungees around if I think I'm going to use it. And I've had that up in 35 knots plus, and the boat really seems to love it. Really low center of gravity on the sail, so it's a great storm sail. A little older, but sets pretty well, and I can get it really flat, really flat. It's almost like a second mainsail, because I bring the jib sheet just inside of the shrouds, and she's wintered very well. Not a mark on her really. Okay, so how do I hoist the main and the jibs? Well, on these little winches with metal halyards. I still have to take them all off, service them, and get all this green off, because there's beautiful bronze underneath there. But a simple system. You winch them up and this ratchet stops them falling down. So unlike rope halyards, they don't have to be coiled up and stuck at the bottom of the mat. It's all pretty neat. Just winch them up and let them drop down. Then all I had to do was to put the main sheet on. I mean, I'd like to say that I did it first time, but no, it took me about 3 or 4 goes to remember how I actually got it last year, so that the end finally goes to the port jamming cleat. So I finally got it working. But this was my final attempt, which got it right, and it works just fine, just like that. Then all I had left to do for the rest of the day, when the clouds parted and we were back to our clear blue sky, was fill a 18-inch crack in the mast, or rather the 18-inch split between the 3 parts that it's made up from. So that wasn't that difficult, but it was looked quite worrying from the deck, so I thought, before I go shopping, time to just fill it. And then off to the second home here, Mercadona, to start stocking up for the trip. And yes, you still have to walk around in funny face masks. And I didn't realise it at the time when I just left my trolley, but this little kid in the pushchair, obviously looking at a video of himself while his mother's quietly shopping. Funny, didn't realise it at the time, but there you go, some fresh vegetables, and I guess being Aries, and Aries' favourite colour is red, all kind of new to me. I saw these huge red peppers, and although I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do with it, I thought, well, it'll look good on the boat if nothing else. And after half an hour in there, this is how I felt, and that was another day.